leave the world behind after Microsoft a global blackout? By embracing preparedness, you can face the uncertainties of the future with resilience and hope. Of course, they will have electricity, their deposits cemented, their shelters capable of protecting them even for a month, a position in Switzerland, a liquid gold, and you, nothing? The world professional of viruses, a man who has identified his name and his pocket with viruses and eugenics towards humanity, has once again put the stamp of terror and at the same time sent a warning according to the script of Leave the World Behind produced by the Obama couple. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Gates and his company seem determined not to let us down. Businesses such as banks, airlines, telecommunications companies, TV and radio stations, and supermarkets around the world were put out of business after blue screens of death appeared on Windows workstations. You can imagine what this means for a computer system. In particular, thousands of computers running the Windows operating system experienced a problem showing the so-called blue screen of death, SBOD, at startup, which affected thousands of businesses around the world. The problem was caused by a flawed security update from cybersecurity provider CrowdStrike, which shut down affected companies and servers, forcing them to constantly reboot. In the US, the Civil Aviation Service grounded all American, Delta, United, and Allegheny planes because the communication system was not working, as reported by CNN. Microsoft announced that it's taking measures after a technical problem that affected several businesses, mainly in Australia. They said our services are improving as we continue to take mitigation measures, the company said in a message on X. Britain's Sky News, one of the country's largest television stations, could not broadcast its program. Sky News is unable to broadcast live television this morning, telling viewers that at this time that we apologize for the disruption, the network's executive chairman David Raj told Platform X. Also, the health booking system used by doctors in England is offline. Health officials said the post today on the X platform, and at the same time, Britain's major rail operator announced that it had been affected by technical problems with its IT system, which would likely lead to last-minute cancellations. They said we're currently experiencing extensive IT system problems in our network. The 4 railway companies of the GOVA Thameslink Railway Group announced in social media posts. Our IT teams are currently investigating to determine the cause of the issue, they said, adding that possible last-minute cancellations are expected as companies are unable to access some driver-related systems. Other important systems, notably our real-time customer information platforms, have also been affected. They continued in their post recommending that passengers seek information about their itineraries beforehand. Airports in Japan, Turkey, and Spain have also reported problems. Berlin Airport announced a suspension of air traffic due to technical problems in the IT system. Earlier, the managing company of the airport in a statement to X informed the passengers that there are delays in check-in due to technical problems. Passengers at Edinburgh Airport in Scotland are enabled to use automatic boarding pass machines, with screens showing the message saying the server is offline, an eyewitness told Reuters. Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, one of Europe's busiest, said it was also affected by the global technical failure, noting that passengers scheduled to travel today should contact the airline first. The fault has affected flights to and from Schiphol, an airport spokesman explained, adding that it was not clear how many passenger concerns or problems, and they announced that the Prague airport is also experiencing problems with check-in systems used by a large number of airlines, noting that some departures would be delayed. A wide-ranging technical breach is affecting dozens of businesses in Australia, from banks, telcos, and media, and appears to be linked to problems faced by cybersecurity services from CrowdStrike, a spokesman for Australia's Department of Home Affairs said. According to specialist website Down Detector, the flaw affects many banks and telecommunication companies. I have been made aware of the large-scale technical breaches affecting a number of businesses and services across Australia this afternoon, Michelle McGuinness of the Australian Cybersecurity Agency said via X. Current information indicates that this vulnerability is linked to a technical issue with a software platform used by the affected company, she said. McGuinness emphasized that there is no information to suggest that this is an incident related to cybersecurity. Australia's state broadcaster ABC said it was experiencing a major technical failure without elaborating. For its part, CrowdStrike said in a pre-recorded message that it's aware of reports of problems with Microsoft Windows operating system. CrowdStrike software is widely used by many businesses worldwide to manage the security of Windows computers and servers. CrowdStrike told NBC that it's now in the process of rolling back the update that caused the problem. Leave the World Behind, the movie, depicts the unraveling of society in the wake of a surprise attack by an unknown assailant. Many believe the film, produced by Barack and Michelle Obama, predicts a cyber attack on the U.S. power grid. Analysis by Dr. Joseph Mercola, January 6, 2024. A cyber attack that will make the COVID pandemic look like a minor inconvenience compared to what World Economic Forum, WEF founder Klaus Schwab has repeatedly promised, quote unquote, in the recent years. Leave the World Behind does not preach preparedness ideologies, nor does he indulge in apocalyptic fantasies. Instead, it offers a look at the potential consequences of social disasters and the human condition's capacity for both despair and resilience in community resources. Be inspired by the film, not to live in fear, but to act with intention. Build your own ark, hone your skills, and cultivate a strong community around you. By embracing preparedness, you can face the uncertainties of future with resilience and hope. Eva Vlaardingerbroek exposes new Netflix film connection to the World Economic Forum. And in the video, Patrick, Bet, David, Adam Sosnick, Tom Ellsworth, and Vincent Oshana discuss whether Barack Obama's chilling new Netflix movie, based on Ruman Alam's psychotic novel Leave the World Behind, might predict this attack on the computer systems. The power grid is imminent. Certainly, a cyber attack will make the COVID pandemic look like a minor inconvenience when compared to what World Economic Forum, WEF founder Klaus Schwab, and other globalists have repeatedly promised in recent years. Leave the World Behind not only depicts the disintegration of society as we know it after a surprise attack by an unknown assailant, but serves as a stark wake-up call to consider our readiness of the world without the familiar crutches of modern infrastructure. Forget zombies and alien invasions. This film delves into the scariest, most plausible possibility of a slow, insidious collapse of the systems that underpin our daily lives in, of course, the modern Western world. Approaching this film with awareness helps unpack several thinly veiled narratives. Technocratic, centralized global agendas such as the Great Reset, depopulation, or social loyalty, grading systems that would erode autonomy, could manifest through mechanical judgments that aggregate public obedience, whether it's bioterrorism events, cyber attacks, lockdowns, or strategic sabotage of the power grid that trumps freedoms for security. Societal PTSD pushes people to accept new rules for stability. The challenge of a disaster are huge opportunities for scrutiny when the public is too shocked and frightened to scrutinize funds, flows, or ask questions. Qui bono, who benefits? Those who orchestrated the crisis, Schwab during the remark at the May 2022 WF Summit in Davos told the carefully curated audience. The future is not something that just happens. The future is built by us, by a powerful community like you here in this room, he said. Conspiracy theory or cautionary tale? When the people united will never be defeated, where decentralization thrives, so does freedom. This controversy extends beyond the film's story, involving questions about the media's potential to influence real-world events and the concerns of a society constantly in the precipice of change. The film centers on the Sanford family as their idyllic vacation in the Hamptons is shattered by cryptic warnings of a disaster. As communication networks flicker, their existence depends on a web of interconnected systems precariously balanced on the brink of collapse. This vulnerability reflects in countless aspects of modern life, becomes the film's central theme, serving as a stark reminder of our dependence on electricity, the internet, and logistical supply chains, and how now seem to easily be disrupted. Predictive programming. But Leave the World Behind is not just a cautionary tale, it's a catalyst for uncomfortable questions. Some speculate that it is predictive programming due to the inclusion of cryptic signs and symbols. Predictive programming theory suggests that the media subtly exposes future agendas in a way that audiences consume without resistance. In the video, Dutch legal philosopher Eva Vlaardingerbroek discusses the predictive programming angle of Bannon's War Room. Like many others, she believes the film shows us what globalists like WF have in store for us. The Sanford's son Archie, wearing a t-shirt with the word obedience throughout the film, casts doubt on the narrative. The Obey t-shirt is a reference to John Carpenter's 1988 film They Live, which similarly deals with society's obsession with mass media and the public's inability to see body grabbers for what they are. In short, people could not see reality as it was. Is Archie's Obey t-shirt just a nod to childhood expression of rebellion, or a chilling prediction of a future where conformity becomes paramount in the face of engineered chaos? Adding further fuel, we note that the film's production company's Higher Ground Productions, co-founded by Barack and Michelle Obama, and this connection may say also suggests suggests a hidden agenda. The Sanford's reliance on modern conveniences and technology highlights the dangers of complacency and the fragility of our existence. In contrast, Mr. Scott, the enigmatic neighbor, embodies resourcefulness and resourcefulness. His stockpiling and proactive approach demonstrates the power of personal responsibility in the face of crisis. Leave the World Behind does not preach preparedness ideologies or indulge in apocalyptic fantasizing. Instead, it offers a glimpse into the potential consequences of social disasters and the human condition's capacity for both despair and resilience. It prompts viewers to confront their own vulnerabilities, encouraging a critical examination of our dependence on interconnected systems and the importance of building individual and community resources. The vital role of trust in turbulent times is unfolding. The narrative strategically implies that the values and structures upon which individuals build their lives can become obsolete overnight, and exposes the unfortunate reality that in turmoil, human nature often leads to disintegration rather than unity, where trust erodes and individuals tend to betray rather than help each other. And as such, the film reveals the inherent vulnerabilities in human interactions. At its core, the narrative hints at the disturbing reality that in a crisis, human relationships will likely falter. This exposes vulnerabilities as people driven by an instinct of desperation can betray each other, letting the very essence of trust crumble in the face of adversity. And the video takes a completely different take on Rose's character, her childhood innocence in the chaos. A stark contrast to her naivety serves as a lens through which we witness innocence in turmoil as she struggles with an unknown situation. Rose symbolizes a deep truth about trusting ourselves, a trait that often weakens individuals transitioning into adulthood. Her role as a support for all the children becomes apparent, offering a profound lesson in the midst of turmoil. Children with unwavering self-confidence can serve as strong role models and teachers in turbulent times. Rose's innocence reflects this unwavering confidence, highlighting a valuable lesson lost on the journey to adulthood, a reminder to rekindle trust in ourselves, especially in times of uncertainty and turmoil. Rose's obsession with watching the final episode of Friends may also be symbolic of her desire for resolution, an answer to the question, how does it end? Something that viewers of Leave the World Behind don't understand. While the film may raise uncomfortable questions about media manipulation and social control, it also offers a beacon of hope, the hope that by acknowledging our vulnerabilities, building resistance, and engaging in honest conversations, we can emerge from the shadows of potential collapse more informed, adaptive, and empowered. And the writer says, I believe there is a very real possibility that the scenario depicted in the film will occur. Given all we know, it would be foolish to ignore this warning and be unprepared for the disaster like this. In the event of a grid failure and infrastructure collapse, understanding that chaos will prevail on the road is critical and should inform your decisions of preparedness. And the longer the network failure persists, the more serious the mess will become. Although a lockdown may not be enforced, stepping outside your property will be dangerous. Being able to stay protected at home will be paramount to safety, considering the risks of damage or worse in the chaos. So preparation is key. Recognizing and obtaining necessary information now while you still can is vital. And two basic needs stand out: food and water. Both are discussed in the following sections. The food preparation. Most prepping tips have no idea about optimal health, and while their suggestions for crackers and beans will keep you alive, they will also make your health worse. After careful analysis and reflection, I suggest you consider having enough of the health products listed below to last you 2 to 8 weeks, as they'll improve your health. And if you are stronger, storing larger quantities, it will be helpful to rotate the foods and eat the oldest ones first. Health carbs. Consider storing several pounds of fruit for each adult. These items are perishable and may only last a few weeks. Fruit is without a doubt the healthiest carbohydrate you can consume. Choose your favorite fruits. Bananas are less than ideal due to their tendency to create higher levels of tryptophan. The fruit should be ripe and sweet, otherwise it's best to avoid it. You can store fruit juices in your freezer. They're usually in plastic bottles, but if you freeze them, the plastic of course expands and will hold the extra volume, whereas if it's in glass, the container will break. The best commercial juice is Evolution brand, and it's cold pressed and unpasteurized. Uncle Matt's is one of the next best. White rice stores well and is much better than brown rice, whose fiber is not digested and therefore feeds the endoxin producing bacteria in your gut. It's not unreasonable to store 8 20-kilo bags of white rice as an emergency source of calories for you, your pets, and your community. It can be stored for years as it's mostly pure carbohydrate with very little rancid fat, and unlike most other grains, it has virtually no linoleic acid. Protein and fat. In nature, protein is usually accompanied by fat, so I combine them, and you can easily store a few months of meat in the freezer, but vegetarians will need other options. Ruminant meats, not chickens or pigs, are usually very low in LA and therefore the best choice. Also stock up on high quality protein powder. Be sure to enjoy the taste. And I use a collagen complex protein powder, which tastes great. Now the thing is, this writer assumes that you're going to have electricity grid. Well, what happens if you don't have electricity? There goes your food in the freezer. Egg yolks are one of the most nutritious foods on the planet, as they contain choline and vitamin K2. I personally consume 6 egg yolks a day from chickens that are very low in LA. Shelf-stable and non-perishable foods. You may also want to stock up on freeze-dried foods such as that have a shelf life of 25 years or more. Other good long-term storage options that don't require refrigeration include canned salmon, canned cod livers, sardines in water, powdered milk and whey, and other nutritious powders that you can mix with water. Ideally, you'll want to store food in a cool, dark place with low humidity. Bags of rice are best stored in a sealed food-grade bucket with oxygen absorbers. Electricity for preserving and cooking food. You can be pretty sure that at some point you won't have any electricity for weeks. There are 2 primary survival needs for electricity, and both are related to food. One is preserving your food and the other is cooking. There are 2 options, and for many it would be useful to consider both. One is solar powered and the other is gas generator. None of these solutions are cheap, and it can easily cost $1,000 to 10 times more, $1,000 to 10 times more, depending on your needs. Solar roof panels are ideal, but if you are grid connected and sell your electricity back to the utility, which most people do, then you won't be able to use your solar system during an outage. Now, if you have a generator and enough fuel, you could probably run it on and keep your fridge and freezer cold. Ideally, you'll want to pair your generator with battery solutions like those from Yeti. Now, water, you'll also want to secure a potable water source, as you can survive much longer without storms than you can without water. An ideal system to consider, especially if you have a garden, is to install a large tank to collect rainwater. Now, you can also purify your water by purifying using purification tablets or drops in a standalone water filter system that can filter out pathogens and other nutrients. So be prepared. You can be inspired by the film, not to live in fear, but to act with intention. Build your own ark, quote unquote, sharpen your skills and cultivate a strong community around you. By embracing preparedness, you can face the uncertainties of the future with resilience and hope, leaving the world behind, not in panic, but with strength to navigate a new path forward. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.